Shalom, Yasharallah. This is your brother Dawud Daw from GMS Tampa Bay 07, coming at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that ruled well, and that's enduring afflictions, 30 years and running. All right. I also want to give much love and salutation to you brothers pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions as well. All right, I'm going to jump into this here quick lesson. Lord willing to be quick, but nevertheless, Lord willing to be edifying, about the importance of going out to the highways and the byways and preaching, all right? Contrary to popular belief, you commanded to go on the highways and the byways, all right? This is the formula which the Most High gave us to go do, all right? So we're going to jump into the scriptures here. Starting out in the book of Ezekiel chapter 2, start at verse 3. And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that has rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me even unto this very day. All right? So, the Most High said, look, I'm going to send you to the children of Israel. Okay? So, he didn't just send you there to go live with their ass. You know what I'm saying? He didn't just send you there to be like, oh, hey, how you doing? All right? It says, for they are impudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, thus saith Yahweh power. Okay? So he's sending you to the children of Israel to speak unto them what the Most High said. All right? Verse 5. And you might come up with, well, they don't want to hear this, no way. All right? Or they don't want to hear all this. Or you might be frustrated on the highways and the byways because it's just you in the camp. You by yourself and ain't nobody came into the camp. You out there 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, nobody came into the camp, Or you putting up videos and you only get 3 or 4 views, every other video or something like that, and you've been on there for a couple of years. Look, hey, don't worry about all that. All right, the Most High going, you just do what you commanded it to do. All right, it says, verse 5, and they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house. Okay, so it don't matter if you on the highways and the byways and you ain't getting nobody coming into your camp, or you on the highways and the byways and ain't nobody stopping to listen. You preach week in and week out and nobody come up to your to your little post, and hear what you got to say. You putting up videos, you got a whole year's worth of videos, and collectively you only got 50 views. Don't worry about all that. The scriptures tell you about that. It says, look, and they whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. All right? And it's also a trying to your faith. You putting up videos 3 years and 3 years running, fervent, on fire putting up videos, but again, in them 3 years, you only got a total of 100 views, all right? Hey, the Most High is looking at your faith. You be like, man, I ain't got no views on my videos, but I'm going to still push this here word, all right? I've been on the highways and the byways by myself, and ain't nobody came into the camp yet for 4 or 5 years. Hey, don't worry about that. Keep pushing, all right? Especially at the very end of this, there's going to be a massive flood of people coming in, all right? So you're going to have to be prepared. You at the house and you cooking this big ass meal, you start to scratch your head like, damn, I got enough to feed 50 people and it's just me in the house. Don't worry about that. Keep cooking that food and you set every plate on the table, all 50 of them, all the silverware, you fill all the glasses, all right? Put ice in the water and everything like that. Don't worry about the ice melting. When you get that last glass on the table and the last fork straight, then somebody gonna knock at the door and you're gonna have a bus full of people ready to eat. They're gonna be hungry. And you better have all the food on the table. All right? It says, and they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house. Yet shall know that there have been a prophet among them. All right? So this is also twofold. Again, you putting videos up, ain't nobody watching, or you on the highways and the byways, nobody stopping by, nobody coming into your camp. Hey, they're gonna know it was a prophet among them. All right? Like I believe the brother Hawaii might have somebody else out there with him. But, a while back, they had that so-called nuclear missile panic alert out there, right? And that brother had been out there preaching. I didn't see him out there preaching at least for a couple years, solo, out there by himself, right? And he was the only person out there preaching like that, And, when that time came, and he thought that was the end, hey, if that was the end of it all for him, then hey, he remained faithful unto the end, not gaining no fruit out there, nothing like that. He kept the faith and everything like that, all right? And went out there while everybody else is panicking and saying their last little words, he out there putting up videos, all right? And like I said, I'm not sure. I believe he might have somebody else coming to the camp, but nevertheless, guarantee you his channel got flooded out there a whole lot because, you know, not only were people re-uploading, you know, or brothers was re-uploading his stream, his videos, but other people was talking about his channel and putting his channel out there like that. So he was getting a lot of people come in, you know. And all his works, people, you know, could go back and look at it, you know. They, you know, some people might be out there scoffing and be like, yeah, that's that guy out there always talking about nuclear bombs and nuclear missiles. Then the nuclear bombs came. I wonder where this motherfucker at. He's still in the highways and the byways giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right? That's where he at. Where y'all at? All right? But nevertheless, you know, like I said, whether they will hear, whether they forbear. But at the end of the day, now people out there looking, you know, because they're a rebellious house. It says, actually, let me jump down a little bit. This is Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 10. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, all my words that I shall speak unto thee, receive in thine heart. Okay, so all the words, okay? If I gave you my name, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, the Father's name and the Son's name, you go and you tell them that name. You don't go out there and say God and Christ, okay? If I tell you, look, take these two sticks and you put them together in one hand, and these two sticks going to be one stick in thy hand, and you put it out there for them to read, that's what you're supposed to go do, all right? If I tell you that you know, you're going to preach on the highways and the byways, this is what you're going to do. And if I say this gospel is going to be preached on the four corners of the earth, you know, basically through the YouTube, that's how it's going to be. Every group, every camp don't need no goddamn airplane to be flying all over the place, you know? This is how he said. Says, verse 10 again, moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, all my words that I shall speak unto thee, receive in thy heart and hear with thy ears. And go get thee to them of the captivity, okay? Go to the ones that's basically in a fucked up state of being, you know? Well, let me rephrase that. To the Israelites, first of all, because we don't want to leave no room for no scoffers. But the Israelites, the ones that's in a fucked up state of being, you know? Unto the children of thy people, okay? The Israelites. And speak unto them and tell them, thus saith Yahweh power, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. All right, so, you know, whether they want to hear it or whether they don't want to hear it, you know. Don't worry about that. Just go out there and tell them regardless. It says, verse Ezekiel 3 and 17. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman into the house of Israel. The Most High gave your ass a job. All right, just like when Esau gave you a job. If Esau gave you a job to deliver pizzas, and you can't never get none of the pizzas to the house on time, and the pizza all fucked up, and you didn't took a bite out the pizza, you know, you done got lost and never showed up, what you think your boss gonna do? He's gonna fire you, all right? You ain't doing what I asked you to do. I'm paying you over here to deliver pizzas, and what are you doing for me? You ain't delivered one pizza yet. You're an unprofitable servant, all right? I didn't gave you this. I gave you, you know, constant business, so you ain't going out there trying to find who want to buy pizza and all that. You don't have to sit here and make the pizza. You didn't have to come up with the ingredients. You didn't have to come up with the people who ship in the goods and all that stuff. You didn't have to come up with none of that stuff. All you had to do, show up to work, clock in, put this uniform on, and put this sign on top of your car, and drive out to the locations where I tell you and give them the pizza. And collect the amount of money I told you to collect, the way I prescribed it. Alright? So, basically it says, Son of man, I've made thee a watchman to the house of Israel. Just like with Esau. He give you a job and tell you how to do the job a certain way. That's how you do the job. Alright? You don't go and you do it a different way. Oh, I think it could be done better this way or that way. Alright? That ain't the way it's supposed to be done. That ain't the way he has it prescribed. Some companies have certain things, certain ways. Like, let's say, I don't know if this is true or not with McDonald's, but, you know, I'm pretty sure they have a uniform way of how they do certain things. Like, you know, you have the bun, you have the meat, then you have the cheese, then you have like the lettuce. You wouldn't have the lettuce at the bottom, the meat, and then the cheese up under that, all uniform. Well, I think it's better off this way. You know, instead of ketchup and mustard on them, I'm going to put some barbecue sauce on there. Well, this ain't what the hell we trying to sell, man. If that's what you want to go do, you go open up your own store over there. All right? This is, Son of man, I've made thee a watchman to the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. Okay? Go out there and tell them. The Most High didn't just give you all this information for you to just be building yourself up. You got to go out there and build up the other one. Because, first of all, you didn't just wake up one day with all this in your head. Somebody gave this unto you. You have to go back out there and give it back out to somebody else. All right? So it says, therefore hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked ways. All right? So, you know, we're not even going to go into the wicked and all that part. It says, when I shall say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die. All right? We're going to forget about that for the time being. And thou givest him not warning. All right? We're going to stick on that. And thou givest him not warning. If the Most High told you to go do something, and you ain't going out there to go do it, all right, you fucked up already. All right? So, you know, this is the point I want to get at. But, you know, they prescribe, you know, what you're supposed to be doing here. It says, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked ways to save his life. Okay? You ain't trying to, the elect, you know? The elect got to be out there in a fucked up scenario. All right? You got to raise them up. All right? And then also, you got the wicked. They got to know their judgment, you know? You got to tell them, hey, y'all homosexuals, y'all going to get put to death. Just so that they know. They got to know. All right? It says, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked ways, he shall die in his iniquity. You tell a homosexual, look, bruh. Well, here it says, hold on, I skipped something. It says, when I shall say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked ways to save his life. The same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but the blood will I require at your hand. All right, so you got two homosexuals, right? You know, you're supposed to tell them, hey, look, man, y'all going to get put to death for all that. You know, the wages of that shit is death. All right? You're going to get put to death. But if you don't want to tell them that, you know, you only want to worry about your family sitting in the household, out on the highways and the byways preaching, all right? They're going to die anyway in their iniquity. But the Most High going to require their blood at your hand. You basically going to be charged with the shit that they got going on. Just like when you were a child and you know, you a little 8-year-old, 9-year-old child, right? And you running through the damn Walmart, knocking down flat screen TVs, your ass ain't the one that's going to get in trouble about this shit. They're going to talk to your parents about it. Walmart, what Walmart going to do to a 10-year-old child? All right? Now, if he in there by himself, they're going to probably detain his ass for a minute, call his parents. But at the end of the day, the parents are going to be responsible for what the child is doing, because the child don't know no better at that point in time. I mean, he could know what's right and wrong, but you know what I'm saying? His parents supposed to be watching over his ass at this point in time. You in the role of the parent right now, because these people, they like children at this point in time. They're doing some dumbass shit. They're not even old enough to stand on their own. Like, you know what? This ain't wise. Me knocking on these TVs might be kind of fun, but I could get locked up and ruin my whole fucking life over this shit. You know? So, you know, that's why you have to go and you have to tell them, you know? That's just like, you that parent inside the damn Walmart standing right beside your child as your child knocking these TVs over, and you ain't saying nothing. Be like, all right, well, you know, or even if you got an older child, they can be like, all right, well, look, him and your ass, because you was standing right there beside his ass. You're supposed to tell his ass to stop. All right? Verse 19. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked ways, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. So you want to, you tell these two homosexuals, hey man, y'all gonna get put to death. All right? You tell them that, all right? But they want to keep being homosexuals. Fuck it. Let the wicked be wicked still. Your job is done. That's all you were supposed to do. You were supposed to let their ass know. Now when they get their judgment, they can't be like, oh, I didn't know no better. Now they know. All right? Verse 20. Again, when the righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die because thou hast not given him warning. Okay? So, you know, you might, well, you know, once you get this truth and this understanding, right, you need to go on the highways and the byways. Not only that, you know what I'm saying, you might have another brotherman that might be going off or slipping or falling or whatever, you know. You need to be letting his ass know, you know. You know, shit, just like the sign deal, you know, the 12 tribes sign is wrong. Well, according to the scriptures, you have to let their ass know, you know. It says, and again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die. Because thou hast not given him warning, he shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he has done shall not be remembered, and his blood will I require at thine hand. Yeah, because you're not out there rebuking your so-called brethren, you know. Y'all going off of that 12 tribe sign, you know. Y'all going off with that. Well, first of all, if you don't tell him, he gonna die anyway. But the Most High gonna require it at your hand. You knew the sign. You knew the sign they was trying to put up was wrong. You knew the sign you had was right. Why didn't you tell their ass? All right. Now they basically, if you're not gathering, you separating. All right. So it's gonna be required at your hand. But you let their ass know, look, bro, that sign is wrong. All right. And they want to keep going on whatever they got to go on with and try to cover up they madness. Fuck it. You don't wash your hands. That's on them now. All right, but you still have a job to do. Verse 21, nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man that the righteous sin not, and he doth not sin, he shall surely live because he is warned. Also thou hast delivered thy soul. All right, so you're supposed to be out there. This is why it's important to be out there preaching and teaching, and because a lot of times it could be some edification going on out there, because you could be out there teaching and might have the wrong understanding about something, because you was probably taught wrong or something like that, or whatever, whatnot, or maybe you probably just don't know about that shit, That's whatever that is might be a little too deep for you at the point in time, but because there's somebody else out there teaching or something like that, or somebody corrects you on something, now you can get better off. You can build yourself up. This is all the building thing, Like I'll say me for an example, I'm putting up videos right now to teach other brethren right now, We out going on the highways and the byways to teach and exhort other brothers on the highways. But we're not in the state like, all right, because we teachers now, can't nobody teach us. Nah, we learn every day. We still watching videos every day, learning from, other brothers every day. Brothers higher than us, brothers lower than us, because we're many members, but one body, Some brothers are given gifts that other brothers weren't given, Some brothers can go into, like, let's say this military technology where other brothers might not be able to see all that. Some brothers might be able to go into this market of beast technology where other brothers might not be able to see all that. Some brothers might be able to go into, let's say, the Gentiles where other brothers might not be able to see all that. Some brothers may know how to break down the 12 tribes song where other brothers don't. But what? We all feeding each other. We all helping each other out with that weight that, if this is too heavy for me to bear, hey, give me a hand with this. See, we all teaching and learning from one another at the same time. This is how it's going to be. One man ain't going to have all this knowledge all unto himself. All right? And once you get this knowledge, you ain't supposed to just keep it to yourself. You're supposed to take that and teach. This is the parable of the talents. You're going to sit there and bury what you done learn. You burying it at your house for just you and your family. What about the rest of the elect that's out there in the highways and the byways? You don't give a fuck about them? Wait a minute. That's the Lord's men. That's who the fuck the Lord care about. And you don't care about who the Lord care about? That's the only reason he's coming back, to gather his elect. The only thing he care about is his sheep. He coming back to come get his sheep, and you don't give a fuck about them? You only care about you and your family? Think about that shit, man. Just think about that. Let me grab another scripture real quick. This is the book of this is Matthew chapter 22, verse well, I'm going to just get to the point. Matthew 22 and 9. Go ye therefore to the highways, and as many as you shall find, bid to the marriage. So go to the highways, all right? Not go inside your house and preach to your wife and your kids and all this and that. That ain't what it's talking about, all right? And really, you're going to be preaching to them regardless through your own countenance, all right? You ain't even got to preach out of the word to them, all right? They're going to just notice from your countenance, all right? You going up with your wife and kids or whatever, whatnot, and then you find out you're an Israelite. Now all of a sudden you don't want to eat pork no more. You ain't got to tell this in the Bible. No, I just don't want to eat pork no more. Now you start to grow out your beard. She's going to start to notice certain things about you. Oh, now you don't want to be selling drugs no more. Now you don't want to be, whatever you was doing. You putting all this stuff down. People are going to take notice. Like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Not saying nothing wrong, but, like, all of a sudden he changed it for the better. You doing better stuff now. They're going to start taking heed to yourself, And so, they're going to notice you through those things anyway, all right? They're going to notice you don't want to be in that folly, so they're going to learn that way, all right? It says, Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. So those servants
went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good, and the wedding was furnished with guests. Okay? You know, I can keep going down here about the ones that came in without their garments, you know. Or put it this way, it says, verse 11, and when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. And he said unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. And the king, then said the king to the servants, Bind him hand and foot and take him away and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Okay? For many are called, but few were chosen. All right? And so, you know, speaking of this guy who came into the wedding without his garment, all right? That's for these Israelites who think they're going to just slide up in here. All right? Let me give you the precept real quick. This is Ezekiel 9:4. And Yahweh said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sign that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. All right? And that mark is that same as garment that they was talking about. Wait a minute. How you get up in a wedding and you ain't got no garment on? You ain't dressed for this wedding. This is all, let's say, an all green wedding. How are you going to come to a wedding wearing white? Obviously, you didn't get the invitation. We all wearing green, and you show up like a sore thumb. All right? So it's indicative to the same mark. Like, yo, man, you're not going to get up in here unless you get that mark on your forehead. And how you going to get the mark on your forehead? It says, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations thereof. These are going to be out there in the highways and the byways and the chief concord places, all right, lifting up their voice like a trumpet, all right? These are the same people. This is how you're going to get that garment, all right? And the Most High Yahushua going to know, everybody going to know at this point in time, all right? Because you're going to have to be going through some stuff, all right? They're going to know you ain't been on the highways and the byways. It's like, well, who the fuck did you raise up? Where's your fruit that you was bringing in? I mean, like, everybody else here got fruit that they was bringing in. You know, everybody else can look up, like, I remember learning from this guy, learning from this guy, learning from this guy, learning from this guy, and so on and so forth. We remember seeing all these brothers out here teaching on the highways and the byways. Who the fuck learned from you? Don't nobody know who you are. Like, especially, like, with these guys that's out here teaching, like, for the men of GMS. We know the faces of the men of GMS, not even them. We know the faces of ISUPK, IUIC, because we see them on the highways and the byways. We see them out there doing something, you know. They get a little more credit than some of you who want to just sit at home behind a keyboard and so-called teach your wife and your kids, all right? They do at least on the highways and the byways, you know, and you over here hiding your talent, all right? I got one more precept to grab. I'll just get to the point. Actually, I'm going to read from 21. Luke 14:21. So that servant came and showed his Lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, Go out quickly into the streets of the... Hang on. It says, Go out quickly into the streets and the lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind. All right? Going back to Ezekiel 37, the valley of dry bones. The elect, when you find them, they fucked up. All right? They're not going to know they're Israelites at the beginning. All right? These are the Lord's men, the ones that the Lord is coming back for, the ones that the Lord loves. All right? They got to be raised up so the Lord can be joined back and together with his wife, more or less to say. All right? But you don't give a fuck about the Lord's bride. All right? Man, you see what I'm saying? This is deep, man. It says, go out quickly into the streets and the lanes of the city and bring hither the poor, the maimed, the halt, and the blind. Sick patients. Go out to the ER and go get these motherfuckers. They need help. You know what I'm saying? Go out there. Hey, we need all doctors on hand in the ER. We just got a whole fucking busload of people that's all fucked up. We don't need you to go over to the front of the hospital where ain't nobody yet and everything calm. We need you back there where motherfuckers is dying at. All right? Those are the people we trying to save. Verse 22, and the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. And the Lord said unto the servants, go out to the highways and the hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. So again, Yahushua saying, go to the highways and the hedges. Not go inside your house and just make sure your household is saved up. Okay? Because you can't go from house to house and just saving houses like that. If Elder Apostle Hart was just worried about his household, then what? What about the rest of the house? How is they going to get the message? All right? For I say unto you that none of the men which were bidden shall taste of my supper. But nevertheless, it says, go out to the highways and the hedges and compel them that shall come. All right? So, again, you being commanded to go out. Go out and to preach. Go out and bring in. All right? Where was that at? Yeah, nevertheless, I'll go ahead and close out there, but I thought that, oh, actually, let me try to, I think it's right here. Let me get one more precept. I think it's John 21. Yeah. This is John 21 and 15. So when they had gone, Yahushua said unto Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? All right? And he said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. And he said unto him, feed my lambs. Okay? So, this is indicative to what's going on now. You love your family more than you love the Most High and His Son and what they got going on? You only worried about your household? Motherfucker, if you doing what you got to do, I can take care of you and your household. What about the rest of them? All right? This is verse 16. He said to him again the second time. All right? First time wasn't enough. I got to say it to you twice. He said to him the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He said to him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest I love thee. Then he said to him, feed my sheep. All right? Take care of my sheep for me. Feed my sheep. Make sure my sheep don't die. Feed them and nourish them. Bring them up. Feed them. Just like the book that Ezekiel was talking about. Look, eat the roll. All right? Verse 17, he said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time. Okay? And this is, again, indicative of what's going on now. Like, yeah, I love the Lord. I'm a servant of the Lord. How you fuck you a servant of the Lord? You only worried about your household. You ain't worried about the Lord's men, his elect. The only ones he's coming back for. All right? If time wouldn't be short and even the elect wouldn't be saved, but for the elect's sake. All right? No, nothing else but for the elect's sake. That's how important the elect is to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right? It says, lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest I love thee. Yahushua said unto him, feed my sheep. All right? And with that, we're going to go ahead and close out. Lord, we want to say the lesson was edifying. Until next time, I say, Kal Halal Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushua. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught me the truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you. I can push in the truth and sincerity in the four corners of the earth. Stay strong. Shalom.